Hey guys, it's Heather. Okay, so today what I'm going to show you is how to fix a broken palette. So I got a little bit of a bigger one. It's the Shades by Shan bronzer, so it's a bigger pan. And then I'll show you how to fix one that's where it's just a little bit smaller and what I've done for that. So we'll do like just one of these colors. But we'll start off with this, but basically all you need is some alcohol, some paper towels, something circular, and I'll show you what that's for later. And then something to like stir it with if you've got like little makeup spatulas. So yeah, then if you just have something like these to stir, sometimes I just use like a toothpick to stir it too. Because these toothpicks that I have, like they're pointy on one end and then they're blunt on the other. So just using like the blunt end, especially if it's like a smaller eyeshadow pan, like you just have like a minimal space, that kind of works. Bigger pans, I like using bigger things, and then like a separate bowl. And then if it's a bigger pan, sometimes I'm just pulling it out of the pan and sticking it in a bowl and then stirring it and getting it back in there. But I'll go over that and I'll show you. Okay, let's get going. We'll start with this. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, there's really nothing groundbreaking that I do. I'll just show you like how I do things. And then to each his own, like whatever works for you. So let's just break it up. I'm gonna break the palette, which is kind of cringe doing it, and then we're just gonna go in and bust it up. Oh, should I maybe like zoom in? Do you guys want me to zoom in? Okay, so we're ignoring the horrible manicure, and I'll just go through and bust this up. Okay, so we got it all broken. And no, I'm not a professional. I'm not certified in anything. I'm not an expert at anything. I'm just showing you like what I've done, and it works for me. So you got your broken palette. So all you don't need much. So I would be really careful. You don't need much of the alcohol. Like if you have an eyedropper or like a tiny little syringe or something that you can just drop it in just a little bit. I don't have one. I was looking all over and I couldn't find mine, so I'm just gonna real carefully. And you can always add a little bit more. So just add a little bit at a time. I probably need a little bit more, but just stir it up so you kind of get like a little paste. Take this and put it in another container. Let me go get a little jar. I think I'm actually going to try that. It's probably a little bit easier to scrape it into like another container. Which, I mean, honestly, I should have just done this to begin with. Okay, so we have all of our product that's been removed, and I just put it in here, which, I mean, honestly, I should have just started there. Add a little more of the rubbing alcohol in there. Now it's probably better to do it like this. And you want to just get like a little paste, and what's kind of nice is you having like the spatula type thing, then you can like scrape it and make sure you get all of your product out of the dish, so you're not losing much of it. So maybe add just a little bit more. Just a couple little dribbles. You know, like I said, you know, you can keep adding more. You can keep adding a little bit, but you don't want to do too much. That's why you just want to do a few drops at a time until you get the right consistency that you want. And you kind of want to make sure you got all of the chunks are smashed, like everything is like the same consistency. So you see how it just kind of looks like a nice even paste. There's no chunks in it. And if you see any chunks, you just want to kind of like keep working it until you get it really nice and smooth. You know, you got a good little paste. Then we're just going to put it back in here. Just kind of mold it back in to the pan. Kind of got it pushed down, you know, you got it evenly kind of spread out. Yes, it's not flat, but we're gonna make it flat. And then pushing a paper towel on it, you're absorbing some of that alcohol. And then I use a tissue so you're not leaving those little indentations of the paper towel's got the little prints on it, the design. Maybe get some Q-tips, put just a little bit of alcohol on them, then you can kind of go along the edges. Basically, once you stop pulling up, like your paper towel or your tissues aren't wet anymore, like when you're pushing it down, it doesn't seem like it's soaking up, they're not getting damp, then that's when you can like stop. And then you just let it sit. And I don't close the lid and then just stick it back in the drawer. I like to leave the lid open and then leave it out for at least 24 hours so the rest of the alcohol that's in it can evaporate. And then you're good to go. You gotta figure out what works for you and what things that you use to stir it, what you use to press down. You know what I mean? Like, do you stir it in the pan? Do you take it out and put it in another container, then put it back in? It just kind of like depends on your own preference. Okay, so what we'll do with this, sorry if I keep bumping the camera, like the chair that I'm in is like right next to the pole that's holding my camera. So I'm so sorry if it keeps going. But anyway, which one should we do? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What should we do? What should we do? It's kind of heartbreaking to break one too. Let's just do the one on the end. We're just gonna pull it out, put it in another bowl. Sorry, am I out of frame? All right, there we go. Let's get it out. We're just gonna stick it in there. Sometimes it's just a little bit easier to do it that way. Could use a little brush. Make sure you get it all out. So you got it all out of there. And again, just like what we did with the bronzer, same thing with this, but we don't have as much. You want to be really careful. Remember, you can always add a little bit more. Start with a few little drops. Just breaking it up with this is nice, but then once you get it into here, using one of your little spatulas, because then you can be scraping, so you're not losing any product. You can kind of just put it off in the corner here and just work it. get your little paste. You know, and then I welcome constructive criticism. I mean, if you guys have like a better, hey, try this, like make a comment down below. Like I'm open to it. I know some people just like scrolling around and making some snarky comments and stuff. I mean, like whatever, those are also entertaining. I kind of like laughing at those. But yeah, if you guys have constructive criticism, you know, give some advice. What do you do? What do you try? What works for you? I'm always open to that. So we got our little paste. I think all of our little chunks have been broken up, so it's pretty consistent. And maybe get the toothpick back just so you're getting all of your product off of the spatula. Just push, make sure if anything's like spilled out on the edges, just kind of push it back in. Paper towel. Lay it on there. Get our little whatever we're gonna use to push down. See how it's like soaking up the alcohol, peeling it off. So I like using the paper towels for this part because they're so absorbent. They really pull out the alcohol that you don't want to like leave too much behind. And then pulling it off. And I just keep going until it's not, there really isn't much moisture coming through. Just keep pushing down. Sometimes just using your fingers to push down works just as good, but then using this at the end when you're trying to get rid of all of the, you see how you're leaving the paper towel print, like the pattern that's on the paper towels, it leaves that behind on the on the eyeshadow. So we'll just keep doing this until we, you know, our paper towels are coming up pretty dry. See how now it's not as wet, like we're kind of getting it all off compared to what we were getting. Now hopefully the camera's picking it up on how wet it was when we originally started, and then we just did it and there's very, very little. So you just keep going until you can get it all off. And then if you want to get rid of that print, that's when I pull out like the tissue where there really isn't like a design on the, use your fingers or whatever lid or whatever you have, and then it kind of gets rid of the indentation. Clean up the edges with a Q-tip. See? So you've done that, you've got it back into the pan, it's all looks good. You know, you've pulled up as much moisture as you can, and then we're just gonna leave it open for 24 hours and let it dry. That's it, pretty simple. Let me know if you guys have tried this. Has it worked for you? Does something else work better? Let me know, because I'm always open to like some ideas on what might work a little bit better. So thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you on my next one.